So, one of the most asked questions that I've been being asked for the past few days is, are Tohar and Bertrand good? So, in this video, I'll do my best to answer that question, but I think as you can see who I'm leveling and who I'm not, you can maybe take a guess on who I think is good and who I think is not that good. What's up guys, Meower here back with a brand new Call of Dragons video. So Tohar and Betran have been out for a few days and I've seen a lot of test reports and I've seen some people immediately max them out and start testing them, including some fellow content creators like Guns. He also has a video up on them where he tests them and everything, but personally I have reached kind of a somewhat different verdict when it comes to those two. I'm going off the reports that have been sent from a fellow friend called Grant from MILF. So big shout out to Grant, Perch for running these stats and Heisenberg as well. From what I've concluded is that even though Tohar and Bertrand are a pure 1v1 March, they kind of start losing to Lilia Velen, which is pretty weird, all things considered, because, well, again, Tohar and Bertrand should be the premier single target March, but they're kind of losing in a 1v1 to Lady Villain despite the massive level difference and everything. So I don't know what is up with those two, but personally, I kind of think the problem lies with Tohar and how he's designed. But before I go more in depth, don't forget to drop a like, don't forget to subscribe, because of course I will be posting the pure talent guides for every single one of them, as well as what I think the meta will be and the best pairings and so on, so on and so forth. So you don't want to miss out on the content that will be coming out on this channel. So of course, do consider subscribing, do consider dropping a like. It does help me out a lot. So right off the bat, Tohar's skill is completely different than anything we've seen in Call of Dragons so far, meaning his rage skill is not actually a skill, it's more of a passive. It reads as follows. After every 5 normal attacks, meaning every 5 turns, Tohar starts to activate the Rage of the Plateau. And Rage of the Plateau lasts for 5 seconds, meaning 5 turns, and they hit Legion once per turn. Moving, however, interrupts the channeling. That is key number one when it comes to the downside of the skill. And also, his entire kit is built around this rage skill and this third skill. This skill, he's not gonna be a viable garrison. I've seen him 1v1 the Syndrome Fragar out in the open field. Let's just say it wasn't pretty, even though, they're meant to be garrison, they're not going to survive against the current meta. Okay, there's just no way a Bertrand and Tohar, or a Tohar garrison in general, is going to survive the current meta. Let it be a Syndrome Fragar March, or a Bakshi Emrys, or whatever else rallies we're going to see, they're not going to survive it. That is point number two. Point number three, his entire kit revolves around channeling. But if you move, you interrupt the channeling, meaning you don't get this bonus. You don't get this bonus either, which is his rage skill that only as awaken skill only activates when you're done channeling for 5 seconds. So right off the bat, the moment you move, you lose half of the value of the kit, or more than half of it when it comes to Tohar. This is also why I don't think he is very good. Judging also by the reports that I've seen on him, when he is channeling or he is activating his rage skill, his deputy or primary cannot cast their rage skill. So even though they might have the 1k rage ready, they're kind of delayed till Tohar finishes his channeling. Now I don't know if this is a bug or intentional, but it's bad design to be honest, and it also gimps him because mages are all about casting that rage skill. We can see here the only time Bertrand casted his rage skill was when Tohar finished his channeling. So right here, Tohar is already done with his cast, his channeling, his damage. Now Bertrand can finally activate his rage skill. But until Tohar was done channeling and done everything, it kind of that makes no sense. Like, why would I gimp my commander for 10 or more seconds till Tohar is done channeling his weak skill that doesn't even do that much damage? It just makes no sense to even bother with Tohar personally. Personally, I will awaken Bertrand because I do plan to use him with Velen, as well on the open field, because again, I've said it multiple times on this channel, I am an open field player. Plus, how is this even possible? A level 44 Lilia versus a level 50 Bertrand and level 50 Tohar, and the Tohar is awakened, and it's a pure 1v1 standing still, which will never happen in the open field. Like, if you are fighting an open field fight and you're not bullying little Timmy or you're beating up noob players, you're always gonna have to be moving. So you're never gonna pull off channeling Tohar's full skill unless you're absolutely stomping someone. So again, it makes no sense. Plus, these two are fully 6 stars, so they have the added bonus of the extra 10%. And despite that, they lost miserably. So it makes no sense, to be honest. And even when they won here in different reports, it wasn't even a convincing victory against two AoE commanders that are not even meant to pure 1v1. They're meant to just fight AoE and keep dishing out their skill damage. Even here, like, it's not meant to be this close, even though they are supposed to be a 1v1 march, which is why I believe that out of Tohar and Bertrand, the better one is definitely Bertrand. It's just so much better and far more flexible than Tohar. You can see here which one was the report with the Syndrome Fregar. I don't know if he sent it to me or not. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. How is this gonna survive a garrison? It's open field 1v1, so both of them are missing a skill and they're both fighting in the same place. So Tohar is freely channeling and Syndrome Fregar is freely hitting. So convince me how this report will not translate into a rally where Syndrome Fregar absolutely bulldozes Bertrand Tohar. It won't. They're not going to survive it. They're not going to be a good garrison. So again, these are all just my predictions. I have been known to make wrong predictions, but this time I'm sure of it. This time I know what I'm talking about. And let's just say I won't bother with Tohar unless he receives some sort of rework to allow his deputy to cast their rage skill during his channeling as well. One other thing about Bertrand. Now, you might be wondering about Bertrand's second skill and how you activate it. The way it activates, it only works with if Tohar is the one with you in the march for some reason, and for some other reason, it works with Guanwin. I don't know why it works with Guanwin, but it's whatever. So here's my thought process when it comes to this commander. This bonus is just that, a bonus. It's not the primary reason why Bertrand will be good. He does a really good single target nuke that goes all the way to 1.5k, which is one of the best, especially if you crit, it's going to hit like a truck. He has a lot of attack and he has a lot of defense penetration, which is a really scarce skill when it comes to mages. So that's number two. That's a really good buff. And number three, he rewards good players that can constantly move and keep his fourth skill activated. So while it reads here, while on the field, Bertrand's Legion gains 5% attack and defense if they have not taken normal attack damage for 3 seconds. So this automatically rewards you for positioning correctly and staying out of line of fire from other marches. So while Tohar teaches bad habits where you have to stand still in order to fully dish out their damage. So imagine you're standing still in the middle of a blob and then your enemy is pushing you, but you want to stand still to finally dish out all 5 stacks just so you can get an extra 35%, and you end up being isolated because everyone retreats when there is a big push happening and people constantly change their positioning. Meanwhile, you can get roughly 15% out of the 35, so you're only missing out on 25% and you're being rewarded for positioning correctly. Plus, I don't believe you should really set a lot of expectations around this skill. It's just an extra 30%. You can somewhat supplement it from another pairing. Personally, I will be pairing Bertrand Velen. I will still be getting 15%. Which one was it? I'll still be getting a hero skill damage of 15% plus the talent, giving me a net loss of just 15% extra. Plus, maybe Bertrand's second skill could be bugged and they could open it up to work with other commanders as well. But as it is right now, it only works with um, Tohar and for some reason Guanwin, though don't pair Bertrand with Guanwin, makes no sense. Plus, if he crits, he hits like an absolute truck, where Velen covers that crit chance and gives you an extra 10% crit chance, so you can automatically have a lot of crit chance going in, so making you do extra defense reduction plus the passive defense penetration. They're both separate buffs. Defense reduction is a debuff, and defense penetration is a buff. So in net total, you can have 20% enemy magic unit defense penetration and 20% defense reduction. So all in all, I believe Velen is a better pairing for Bertrand than Tohar, and personally, I think Tohar should go to the butcher shop and be turned into a tasty steak where he will actually be useful. So that is my final verdict. If they're worth it or not, personally, and again, this is just my opinion, I think you should really ignore Tohar for now and focus more on Bertrand. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Do you have different reports, different findings, different whatever? Do let me know. And again, check out Guns' video on it. He has a lot of tests as well versus different pairings, though I don't know why its test was somewhat variant from the ones my friends did, but again, it should give you a general idea that it's not even that good of a 1v1 march if it's not consistently beating Lilia Velen in a landslide, because it's meant to be a pure single target march, but it's losing sometimes against the AoE variant. So let me know what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Discuss with me in the Discord. But on that note, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you learned a thing or two. If you did, of course, drop a like, subscribe, join the Discord. The link is in the description. And have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Meow meow.